A few days ago, YouTube changed its monetization requirements. In the past, you needed 1,000 subscribers and 40,000 watch hours in order to be approved for monetization. There are other rules about shorts, but my main thing is long form content. And so the announcement that happened a few days ago was that now you're going to need 8,000 watch hours in order to become monetized. And this is supposed to take effect in February. Now, when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is a wake up call because I have this channel. I currently have 25 subscribers. I started the channel a few years ago with the intention of sharing business content and maybe personal development content because at the time I was running a solo practice where I was also doing cash pay medicine. I was doing aesthetics. And so my goal with this channel was to share all the business lessons that I had learned at the time and just help other people who were on the journey of entrepreneurship. But life happened and it was really difficult to juggle this channel and another channel that I have, which is in the health space because I am a physician and I create health related content. And I have that channel which is monetized, and it took me a while. It took me a couple of years to get monetized on that channel, primarily because I wasn't trying to get monetized. My in the past, my way of making content and getting people into my office and clients was through TikTok. And so what I did was I reposted all of my TikTok content onto YouTube, and because of that, I ended up getting monetized. So that's why it took a really long time because I was focusing on short form content. But moving forward, I decided that I prefer to do long form content for the direction that I'm going in. So on my health channel, I will be primarily doing long form content and seeing how that plays out in terms of how it brings in customers into my now online business. Because in the past, I had a practice and I decided to close that practice because I'm a mom and I have two kids, and their needs became a bit more than the average needs of a child. And so it required me to be at home more to be able to take care of them. And so I asked the question, well, how am I going to make money now that I don't have my own practice that I'm running? And the solution was to get on YouTube and make money through YouTube. So now that YouTube has decided to double the amount of hours necessary to become monetized, I was like, all right, I feel like this is the message that I needed from YouTube to get my act in order, right? And to use this channel for what I had intended it to be, which is a channel where I share everything that I've learned in terms of business um, and personal development, because those are like kind of intertwined, and also share what I'm going to be doing as a business owner moving forward, because now I will be working from home and my goal is to help professional moms who are in the same situation as me where they can't work a 9 to 5 because they might have kids who have special needs, helping them turn their knowledge into a form of income, which is what I've done with my health channel. I create content on there and I make some money using that, but I also have a coaching program that I have on that channel. So that's what I'll be talking about on this channel, kind of almost, it might just be a little bit blog style, and it's gonna be raw. I don't plan to do a lot of editing just because it can be time consuming to do editing, and you just never know what's gonna happen with like kids and all of that. So this is gonna be more of like a raw, authentic type of channel, and I am going to basically come up with a strategy of how I'm going to get this channel monetized by February 13th. Is it possible? Sure. Is it going to be difficult? Maybe. But there's a content creator that I follow. I think her first name is Glow. I think her last name is Atanmo. I'll screenshot her channel and put it up here. But a few months ago, I saw her I don't know how I found her. And she had this challenge where she had challenged herself to create content on YouTube every single day. And at the time when I found her, I believe she had crossed 1 or 2 years, right? So she had consistently been making long form content. Like we're talking at least 25-minute long videos every single day and posting them. And she mentioned that when she did this, she was able to get her channel monetized in 45 days, which is very encouraging to me because I'm like, well, what can I do between now and February 1st to get monetized so I don't fall into this 8,000 hour trap that could take forever. I know it took a long time for me to get monetized on my other channel. So now I'm just like, all right, let me try this lady's method of posting content daily. And I like that she does it really raw and unedited for the most part, because the thing that she says is it's important to get the reps in. If you just decide that you're going to make content every day for 100 days, for example, then you have to eliminate all the other things that could get in the way, right? So editing could get in the way, having fancy thumbnails could get in the way, all of that. And if you have knowledge in your mind or in your brain, you can just put the knowledge out there and see who it attracts, and then you can make adjustments as needed. And I like this way of thinking because it is the business way of thinking. I find that when I'm using my more professional, analytical, medical brain, we tend to be quite perfectionistic in our way of doing things, because obviously if we make mistakes, then people could die, right? That's the mindset that I have when I think about medicine. But when you switch over to the business aspect, that mindset won't work. And that's also why I really want to work with professional women, because I understand professional women and how they think and the struggles that they might face when they're trying to transition over into being business people who still want to teach more technical and teach things that are more technical and teach things that were from their professional lives. Because a lot of times what I see is people try to take what they learned or their method of what made them successful in the professional life, and they try to bring it into a business life, like YouTube, for example. And as someone who created content on TikTok for 5 years, that definitely doesn't work. And so since I did TikTok in the past to grow my practice, and I was making 1 to 2 videos a day religiously. And I followed the same strategy where I was not making it in a professional way where I was sitting down and it was curated and the background looked good. Like all of that was just not what I was doing. I just put the content out there because it was what was required to grow my business, and people came. But I was really worried that I couldn't do something like that on YouTube because, again, in my head, YouTube is more of a professional space. It should be more curated. That's what I've seen other people do. But Glow gave me the permission to just do it, okay? To just do it TikTok style. Like I am currently in my home office. If you can see in the background, I have kids who have to learn. So I'm not going to take down my posters for my kids, because this is also the same space I use to help teach them. And it's our relaxation space. It's a multi-purpose space, and I don't have a dedicated room for content for YouTube. So it's just like, you know what, we're just gonna do it this way, and we're going to just put ourselves out there. And the most important thing is that I share the knowledge that I have about business, and I share the journey of going from being a doctor and working as an employee, and then I share my journey of going from employee to self-employed, the ups and downs, the lessons learned, and now how I'm transitioning into, I would say, probably more of a freelancer, still self-employed, but it's just a different type of business model where I'm moving from a brick and mortar space to an online space, and I'm basically turning the knowledge that I have in business to help other professional moms in the same situation as I am do something similar. So moving forward, that is going to be what the goal of the channel is. The channel's job is to talk about the knowledge that I have, right? And to you hope that that knowledge helps other people on their journey, on their entrepreneurial journey. It's also supposed to help me work on my speaking ability, so that so I'm not saying so many but just have a thought and just sit and talk about it. I want to see what that looks like, because I have done videos in the past where I have scripted and I just looked like a robot. I looked like a robot. I didn't feel like myself. And when I rewatch the videos, it just looks painful to watch. And so now I'm like, okay, how can I come across as myself on when I'm making videos? And for me, for example, I really need to use my hands to talk. So like before, I would like be very like together, and I'm like trying to make content, and then I feel really stiff, and then nothing's happening, and my personality doesn't come across. But now I'm like, okay, if I'm doing this raw style of content where I have a note card that I've scribbled in ideas of what I want to talk about, and I can just look at it and then just kind of riff on it, I want to see what that looks like, and I want to see if that might be the better content strategy for me that allows me to make the content consistently, because that was another issue where I felt like I had to script and then I would overthink. But not just make the content consistently, but improve my speech and my ability to speak. And then also in the process, some nuggets can come out of my brain and it will go into the video that I am sharing with you. Okay, I'm gonna just look at my notes really quick. So what I plan to do moving forward, I'm gonna post this video on August 13th. So my goal is starting from August 13th to February 13th, I'm going to post a video every day on this channel. I know the monetization thing starts February 1st, but I'm giving myself till February 13th. And my hope is that by then I will have 1,000 subscribers and I will have 4,000 watch hours so that I can cross the monetization threshold before it gets to 8,000 hours. So that's my first plan. And then my second plan is to use the time frame, this 6 months of creating content, to grow my business, okay? Because this side of my business is geared towards helping professional moms start and create an income with their knowledge, okay? And I'm going to be introducing my method called the 5 to 9 method, and my academy is going to be called the 5 to 9preneur Academy, where I basically teach other moms and other professionals how I use the 5 to 9 block of time to ideate and run my business. Because between 9 to 5, I need to be a mom to my kids, and I need to be readily available because I constantly am being pulled out of school, or I have to go to doctor's appointments, or I have to go to different therapies. And so, like I said, the traditional 9 to 5 didn't work for me, and that's why I had to close my practice, because the needs of my kids were a lot higher than I had anticipated. And so because I'm just who I am, and I felt like I wanted to be there to help them through what was going on with them, or what is and what continues to go on with them, I decided to figure out how I was going to be there for them from 5 to 9 and still have a business. And so that's where the 5 to 9 method came in, and that's what I will share a lot of on this channel. So that's the second goal that I hope to achieve in the next 6 months while I'm chasing monetization. And the third goal is just to make some friends. I think that when you decide to go on the online space, it can be quite lonely, because now you've cut off the socialization aspect of working in a job or working with people, right? And so now I'm like at home with my kids, and I don't it can be quite lonely. So my hope is through this process, I can make some online friends who are also going on a similar journey where they want to start their own YouTube channels. They want to grow their own businesses using YouTube. And also we can kind of have a community where we understand each other. We can help each other out. We can bounce off ideas off of each other, things like that. So that is my goal with this channel. I want to say that a lot of the discourse that I have seen has been a lot of people feeling discouraged about the fact that YouTube is increasing their hours for monetization. And I've seen a lot of negative comments about it. People are saying corporate greed and all of that. And I don't know necessarily how YouTube or why YouTube decided to increase the hours. It makes it a bit more difficult for people to become monetized. But I think I'm going to say two things. I think, first of all, they probably just want more serious people to be on the platform so that their ad revenue works better, okay? And this is why I like to make business content, because from the outside, if you're a creator and you're looking at business as, if you're looking at YouTube as something that will help to employ you or help you make money, then you might not be seeing the bigger picture because you're not thinking as a business owner. And so one of the advantages that I think I have is that I can see things from a consumer point of view and I can see things from a business point of view. And as a business, YouTube is probably going to increase the hours because they want to increase the quality of people who are creating content, right? Maybe they've done an overall assessment of the people who are monetized and they're like, hey, these people, yes, they're monetized, but they're not making enough money for us. So we're going to make it harder so we can filter out the people who are just barely making it and push people to make more content so that we can make more money, okay? So from a business point of view, that makes sense. Again, I'm not part of YouTube. I don't understand how YouTube monetization works in terms of what their goals are. But as a business owner, I can tell you that whenever situations happen where you have to evaluate revenue and make decisions about whether or not the work you're putting in is giving the fruit that you want, people are going to make adjustments. Corporations are going to make adjustments. And so people might see that from a negative point of view, but as a business owner, I can understand why they would do that. And then I would also say that this is an opportunity to really decide whether or not YouTube is the right thing for you. Ask yourself, why are you doing YouTube? Because if you're doing YouTube for monetization money, don't get me wrong, I want to do it because that would be one source of revenue for me. And I make a little bit of money on my health channel using ads. But YouTube should not be the only way that you make money. If you're making money or if you're making content with the sole purpose of getting YouTube monetization and hoping to make money that way, then you're still kind of operating with an employee mindset, right? And that can be a trap. So I would say, and this is what I plan to encourage my future clients, is to see YouTube as a marketing platform, okay? YouTube is a place where you put yourself out there, and in return, people are attracted to you and what you have to offer, okay? If you're using YouTube because you want to have brand deals, then you need to still be a business person and think, what do brands want? And how can I make myself attracted to those brands? And so that makes you the business, right? Sorry about that. My battery died, which again is going to be those are things I'm going to have to be prepared for as I plan to make long form YouTube content and cameras and all of that. But the point I was trying to make was I feel like the 8,000 hours that has been imposed on all of us as YouTubers will have to make us really define why we're doing YouTube in the first place. Like I said, if you're doing it because you want YouTube to pay you and that's the only form of revenue that you plan to make, that might be very difficult because then you're only looking at getting one form of revenue. And so I guess we can also talk about that on the channel, just understanding business and how you diversify your, if you're the business owner, how you can diversify income streams, and not just depend on one income stream, because again, things change, things always change. You have to be prepared for changes, okay? So I would say if you're watching this and you want to join me on this 6-month journey, then first thing you have to do is decide that you want to be a YouTuber. And by YouTuber, I don't mean depend on YouTube for your monetization, but use YouTube as a marketing tool for a business, okay? It could be anything. It could be becoming attractive enough so that people can give you brand deals. It could be so you could sell a product. It could be so you could sell a coaching program like I plan to. It could be whatever it is. But make sure that the money coming from YouTube is maybe 5% of, it's a small percentage of what you plan to build, okay? So we're going to become YouTube creators, but not in the sense of only getting AdSense, but we're also going to build businesses around it. So that's the first thing that you need to do. And then you need to be consistent with making content. Pick a cadence that works for you. I'm picking posting daily because I find it to be challenging. And if I am not successful, but I still continue, then it's better than deciding to make a video a week. So if I do a video a week versus a video every day, like the volume of that is going to be completely different. The lessons I'm going to learn from that are going to be completely different. The chances of me getting the monetization that I want will be completely different. And so pick a cadence that I would say pick a cadence that's challenging, that's going to force you, right? I really like Glow's method of making videos every day because it just forces your brain to just say, hey, this is what I want to do. How am I going to make this video? You know, I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw everybody talking about this YouTube monetization thing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to hop on this bandwagon and talk about how I'm going to restart this channel. And my plan, which is following Glow's plan to post daily. If I miss a day, that's okay, but I really want to push myself to post daily, and I'm hoping that if I do that, I will get the monetization. But the monetization is not the goal. The posting the content is the goal. Consistency is the goal, and growing my business is the goal, right? So I hope that when one, you decide to be a YouTube creator that is a business owner, and secondly, you decide to be consistent with posting content, and thirdly, honestly, I think it's going to be fun. You just never know where you will end up by making a decision like posting content daily on YouTube, putting yourself out there. I think it's beneficial in two ways. It's beneficial for you because you get to learn a new skill. You get to learn so you could teach, right? Because I plan to teach on here. And you just improve yourself, which is part of what I plan to talk about on this channel, which is personal development. And I would say YouTube and being a business person is probably the ultimate personal development. Having kids is also another one, but this is not a kid channel. But there will be little sprinkles on motherhood in there because that's just my life. I'm a mom. I'm a mom who's trying to work from home. So there'll be a lot of that sprinkled, and you might even see my kids come in once in a while because that's just the life that I'm living right now. And then the other benefit is how it will help other people, okay? So by me putting myself out there, I'm giving other professional moms permission to start their own YouTube channels, to start their own businesses from home. If they're in situations like mine where it just doesn't make sense to have a professional career because of the needs of their kids, then I want to be the person on the internet who is encouraging them to seek another path and to show them that I am similar to them and I have found a path and that works for me. And if it's something that they want to achieve as well, then they can work with me. So all in all, I would say that this new YouTube monetization requirement is a positive because it is now pushing me to do what I had already planned to do. But now I'm like, I have a deadline, right? People work really well with deadlines. And now I just get to challenge myself to put myself out there and make content and just continue to iterate and reach people who might find my content beneficial, and also reach people who might want to work with me. So yeah, that's the conclusion I'm going to come up with. I don't think that the changes are going to be bad. The changes are going to be good for YouTube because of the quality of content that's going to be created, and YouTube will probably benefit from that. But the changes are also going to be positive for the YouTube creator who's a business owner, because again, you're not depending on YouTube monetization primarily for your source of revenue or income, but it's just an added bonus, and it will push you to create content consistently, which is going to be a great thing for your business anyway. So that's just my spin on this whole YouTube monetization thing. I'm excited to see how things turn out in the next 6 months. I think what I plan to do is that since I'm going to post this on the 13th of August, I will come back every 13th of the month and kind of update you guys on where I am. So right now I have 25 subscribers and I don't even think I have any watch hours. And those videos from before, I removed them because they don't match the business that I'm doing moving forward. So I'm starting with 25. In a month, I'll be back to make a video to see where I am and see if posting videos daily for a month at that point is going to make any difference. I'll talk about whether or not it's brought in business for me. And yeah, so again, we'll see how it plays out, but I'm excited to go on this 6-month journey. And then from there on out, who knows, maybe I will continue to post daily, or maybe I will do every other day. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just taking it one step at a time and following one goal at a time, which is to get monetized on this channel. And in the process of getting monetized, I hope to grow my coaching business. So that is going to be the end of today's video. I will be back tomorrow to talk a little bit more about my journey in medicine, why I quit medicine, talk about the business aspects of having a practice, and how I plan to grow my online business and all of that. So I look forward to sharing that with you guys tomorrow. And yeah, if you found this video useful, then just give me a like. If you want to join me on this 6-month journey to getting monetized, or if you are a professional mom who is thinking about turning their expertise or knowledge into a revenue source or into income and trying to figure out how to build a business around that, then subscribe and follow for more. I will definitely be talking more about that type of business and showing you guys how I'm going to be doing it for myself, and you guys can follow along. All right, this was fun. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.